じゃあ喋るよ。はい、リップシンクテストです。パピプペポパピプペポパ。はい、めちゃめちゃ恥ずかしい。
日本記者クラブの江木と申します。皆さん、大変恐縮ですが、警備上の理由からですね、渡された黄色いリボンはつけて参加してください。よろしくお願いいたします。
通訳さん、英語もらってよろしいんでしょうか。ありがとうございます。日本語お願いできますでしょうか。OK です。ありがとうございます。
マイクテスト、マイクテスト、メインのマイクテストです、マイクテストです。メインのマイクテストです、マイクテストです。いかがでしょうか。マイクテストです、マイクテストです。マイクテストです、マイクテストです。いかがでしょうか。はい。
本日、司会役の共同通信、杉田ですけど、グロッシ事務局長の到着がちょっと遅れておりますので、もうしばらくお待ちください。
すみません、日本記者クラブ事務局のものになります。すみません、浅田と申します。皆さん、黄色いリボンをお手元にあるかと思いますが、こちらの方必ず着用するようにお願いいたします。お付けになってご着席ください。
今この建物にお着きになられたそうで、まもなく始められると思います。
Hello, how are you? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
それではですね、お待たせしました。本日はIAEA のラファエル・マリアーノ・グロッシ事務局長をお招きしました。グロッシ事務局長はですね、今朝来日されまして、東京電力福島第一原発で予定されているアルプス処理水の海洋放出をめぐり、IAEA で安全性規制面に関する検証をされてきましたが、この結果をまとめられた包括報告書をですね、先ほど官邸で岸田文雄首相に手渡しました。会見は英語と日本語の同時通訳で行います。グロッシさんに冒頭に発言をいただいて、その後、会場およびオンラインから質問にお答えいただきます。質問は英語か日本語でお願いします。私は司会の日本記者クラブ企画員で共同通信の杉田です。それから通訳はですね、サイマルインターナショナルの大野理恵さん、それから渡辺直子さんにお務めいただきます。それではグロッシさん、よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, almost evening. It's very good to be back in Tokyo and to be back here, where I held a press conference some time ago. So, of course, today, on the occasion of this visit, and in particular, given the importance of what we are doing, I felt that it was important to be with you again. Would you like to translate? Or?
No, it is consecutive. So
okay, very good. Excellent, yeah. Excellent. So just by way of introduction and before I take your questions, to say that just a few minutes ago I finished a meeting with Prime Minister Kishida, where I had the pleasure to deliver to him, to hand over, the comprehensive report that the IAEA has prepared on the Alps treated water plan and the way ahead, which is, in fact, the result of a dedicated work for more than 2 years. If you allow me to recapitulate, more than 2 years ago, more precisely in April, between February and April 2021, Japan concluded its basic policy with regards to the water which had been accumulating around the nuclear reactors. And Japan required the IAEA to make an assessment of this plan. At that time, I indicated that, of course, the IAEA, in pursuance of its statutory authority and its mandate, would be ready to perform such a task. And I added that I thought that for this to be a comprehensive effort that would be looking at a plan, but also at the future, it would be important that the IAEA be present before the plan would be implemented, during its implementation, and after its implementation, so as to provide with a comprehensive evaluation and with an effort that would be projecting itself into the future. Today, I can say that after this effort that has been carried out by the task force that I put together within the IAEA and with the assistance and advice of prestigious experts on radio protection from all over the world, including from neighboring countries, that the plan as it has been proposed and devised is in conformity with the agreed international standards. And its application, if the government decides to proceed with it, would have negligible impact on the environment, meaning the water, fish, and sediment. And lastly, as I said, we have agreed that the IAEA will have a continued presence at the site, will continue the review if the plan moves forward, because, as you know, this is a decision by the government. It's not the IAEA decision. It's a decision by the government of Japan. If the government decides to proceed with it, the IAEA will be permanently here, reviewing, monitoring, assessing this activity for decades to come. So tomorrow, I will be heading to Fukushima, where I will be meeting the management of the plant, will be also establishing the permanent presence of the IAEA at the plant, and will be meeting local stakeholders, 11 mayors of the region, fishermen's associations, and all those who have something to say about that. Because I believe in transparency, I believe in open dialogue, and I believe basically in the validity of the exercise we are carrying out. So this is the stage, this is the situation as we see it and as we intend to carry it out. With this, I am, of course, open to your questions or comments. Thank you very much.
はい、グロスさんありがとうございました。それでは質問を受けします。質問は英語か日本語でお願いします。同時通訳サイマルテニアスのトランスレーションですので、そのまま英語か日本語でお話しください。会場で質問のある方は挙手をお願いします。私が指名します。お近くのマイクを使ってお名前とご所属をおっしゃってから質問してください。それからオンラインで参加されている方は直接質問したい方は Zoom の画面の下の方にある手のマークのボタン、手を挙げるを押してください。私が指名しますのでミュートを解除し、質問をお願いします。テキストの質問は Zoom の画面下方の Q&A にお名前と所属を添えて質問を書いて てください。さあ、それでは会場から、まずお願いします。上がりましたね。じゃあそちらの1列目の男性の方、はい、お願いします。マイクを使ってください。
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Director General.
Hello.
I'm Yifan from China's Xinhua News Agency. So the contaminated water could be diluted from the Alps system, but this water has come in direct contact with the reactor that suffered a severe meltdown. So how reliable and effective is the Alps system in processing the water? And will there be a long-term supervision mechanism that allows other countries to participate in once the discharge begins? And last, are there any other options to deal with the wastewater other than to discharge it into the ocean? Thank you.
Thank you very much. 3 questions in one. Very good. Regarding the reliability of the system, I must say that to come to the conclusions we are coming in the present comprehensive report, we have, of course, evaluated this. This has been done throughout this period of more than 2 years. I must say that this process of dilution and chemical and other filtering is nothing new. It's something that exists in the industry. We have assessed it, and not only that, I have also handed out today, together with a comprehensive report, the first report of the interlaboratory exercise we carried out. You know that in order to assess that the readings of your samples are correct, we send them, of course, we have them in our own laboratories, and then we send them to a number of laboratories all over the world, certified laboratories all over the world, and then we get the results. And when these results are fully compatible, then you have certainty that the system is working as it was envisaged. So the system, from a technical point of view, of course, is a system that is reliable. In terms of the long-term supervision, as you called it, we are going to, or we have agreed that the IAEA will continue to be here. As you know, the IAEA is an international organization, is the international authority that all countries, including China, have given or created to do exactly this. Of course, if Japan wants to allow other countries to perform other controls, is not in my purview. But what I can tell you is that the internationally authoritative voice is the IAEA. This is why the IAEA exists. Regarding other options, what we were asked to evaluate were the 2 options that the plan could envisage. There were 2 that the government retained, vapor release or water dissemination. It was the last one that was retained. There are other 3 methodologies which are not industrially mature. These 2 are the 2 that exist in the world, and the water dispersion is one that is currently in use in many countries, including China, in Korea, in the United States, in France, in many countries that have releases of water that contains certain radionuclides. So in this sense, it is an option that exists. The decision about the option, of course, again, I should repeat, is one that is to be made by Japan. We made an evaluation. We compare with other options, and we were able to confirm that this is one that exists, that has a proven track record, and it's being used as we speak today. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。それでは次の質問をじゃあそちらの方、はい、お願いします。マイクはそっちにありますよ。
Hello, Mr. Grossi,
Hello.
Ken Suganuma, TV Asahi, Hodo Station. Let me jump to Ukraine. So, regarding Zaporizhzhia and PP, according to the Ukrainian officials, there's a fear that the plant may be subject to an attack following the alleged deadline for the evacuation of the on-site personnel by July 5th, which is tomorrow. In parallel, you personally made a visit as early as last month.
Yes.
So my question is, what is your assessment of the situation out there in terms of security, given the current context?
Thank you very much. Well, the situation in and around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is, I have described it many times as precarious, fragile, extremely dangerous. As you know, this plant is right on the front line of the war. I've crossed that front line 3 times. So, and at this current moment, with the counteroffensive and the increased military activity, of course, the possibility of an accident, of a hit on the plant, of the interruption of the external power supply is very high. So this is why we are very, very concerned. This is why I went to the United Nations Security Council and I enunciated 5 basic principles to avoid a nuclear accident. At the moment, we have, as you know, also very important, there is a permanent presence of the IAEA in Zaporizhzhia. We have ISAMS, the international mission, with our experts there, who are informing us every day of what is happening there. We have had cases of allegations, informations, warnings, and of course, we don't have an intelligence service. We can inform of what we see. We certainly hope that nothing of the sort will happen, will take place. We know, and I have formulated a very strong appeal at the Security Council, and I reiterated here today in Tokyo, that a nuclear power plant should never be attacked, and a nuclear power plant should never be used as a military base. So, yes, we are concerned, but we are present. We know what needs to be done to avoid a nuclear accident, and we hope that all those who have the responsibilities will act according to that and spare us all a tragic radiological accident over there.
So your IAEA staff will remain on site even after tomorrow?
We're not going anywhere. We are staying there. Yes, we are there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。じゃあ、じゃあそちらの女性の方、お願いします。はい。
テレビ東京の田中と申します。よろしくお願いします。2点ありまして、まず1つ目からお伺いします。7日まで日本に滞在された後、韓国、ニュージーランド、クック諸島というふうに歴訪されるということですけれども、ここの歴訪にはどういった意図があるのか、また漠然とした不安というのもあると思うんですけれども、この国際機関からの科学的な評価、説明によって、この太平洋島しょ国の理解というのは十分に得られると思いますでしょうか。
Thank you very much. A very important issue, of course. In my opinion, you need 2 things. First of all, a comprehensive, neutral, objective, scientifically sound evaluation. And this is what we have. So we are very confident about it. But at the same time, we recognize that there are concerns. These concerns have been manifested by many. I was in China a few weeks ago, as you know, and I have been in contact with the authorities of the Republic of Korea, also the Pacific Islands, and there are questions, there are ideas about what may happen. And I think the best way, and indeed my responsibility, is to be available, to answer questions, to not only indicate from a podium that this is the truth and that everybody should accept it, but to listen as well, why these concerns exist. And like we are doing now, address different aspects. People may have additional things that are not directly addressed because this is a scientific document. People may want to know, for example, is this new? Has this been tried? Where? How? How long will this take? Etc., etc. And I think my responsibility as Director General of the IEA is to provide these answers, and most importantly, to confirm to all those who may have these issues that we will always be available, that we are starting a process now. I have assessed a plan. This plan might be implemented by Japan. It's a decision by the government. But when that happens, the IEA will be there to provide further reviews. So if you ask me whether I wish to persuade them, I don't know. My job is to do an honest work of being available and answer all the questions. The report adequately, otherwise I wouldn't have published it, adequately answers all the scientific aspects related to this. So I hope this is a satisfactory approach for now.
はい、いいですか。
もう一ついいですか。
ちょっと他の方もいらっしゃるんでいいですか。
最初に2問というふうにお伝えしたんですけれども、
まあ
すみません、お願いします。処理水の放出をめぐりましては、中国ですとか韓国などから、依然として強い反発があるということを先ほどお話しされてもいましたけれども、一方で原発におけるトリチウムの年間放出量というのを見てみますと、中国の方が多いということなんですが、そういった中でも強い批判が生まれる、その根拠というのはどこにあるというふうにグロッシ事務局長は思われますでしょうか。
Well, you should ask the Chinese, not me. I listen to everybody. My job is to listen to everybody, to take all the questions seriously, and to try to provide an objective answer to them. My impression is that we have to recognize that such a thing has not happened before. We have releases of tritium, of course. It's nothing new, but there are new elements. For example, is the fact that this has been accumulated for a long time. How is this going to be done? Is this going to be done at a one go? Is this going to be done in batches? I mean, there are many aspects that are peculiar to this particular situation. So there might be additional considerations. But again, I don't want to speculate. I suppose every country have different motivations to have concerns, and I don't want to get into that. What we would like to do, as the best way in which we can cooperate, is to give answers, good answers.
はい、ありがとうございました。はい、それではじゃあ奥の方、はい、どうぞ。
はい、CIMG 東京支局のリーと申します。今日ですね、報告書を出されましたけれども、やっぱりもしこれから、海への放出したらですね、短い時間、1回とか1年とかですね、済むことじゃなくて、やっぱり長い期間、30年とか40年とか想像できますけれども、やっぱりこの長い期間にそういう放出の安全性ですね、と IE としては保証できますが、もしこれから長い期間の中にもしか何がありましたらですね、IE としては責任取れますかね。はい、お願いします。
Well, yes, 30 years, 40 years, and this is part of the safety of the operation, because you cannot release an amount of water that would be above the levels that are normally accepted to an operation of this type. So this is why you have to stagger it. You divide the amount into a certain period of time. You ask what is the agency going to do? Well, the agency is going to stay. That is the difference. We are not simply saying, very good, good plan, bye. No, we stay. We stay, and when we stay, how do we do it? We continue to review. There are certain methodologies, as you can imagine. You sample arbitrarily from time to time. You get an idea of what is happening. We are setting up a specific office, an office I will inaugurate it tomorrow, that will be there with staff of the IAEA there, that is going to be there. We do not have an enforcement authority. It's Japan, and it's the Japanese authorities that decide what they do. What the agency does, as we do it in many other areas, in non-proliferation, and we report. And by reporting, we give the international community the elements to judge what is going on. If there was a problem, we would be able to report there is a problem. And the government would be taking the necessary decisions, or the company, in this case the operator, which is the one that does the operation, TEPCO. I hope this is clear.
はい、それではですね、この辺でちょっとグロス事務局長、次の予定が入っていらっしゃるので、この辺で記者会見を打ち切りたいと思います。それではグロス事務局長、お忙しい中来ていただいてありがとうございました。また7日にもですね、お越しいただく予定になっていますので、その時改めて質疑応答を続けたいというふうに思います。それではどうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. As you said, I will be back to address other questions. I try to be here, even though I had limited time, to be able to answer to the fundamental, the most pressing questions. But of course, I would be more than glad to answer more, as I will have time coming here or bilaterally. For me, your work is very important. It's through you that I can explain what we are doing, and I thank you very much for that. Thank you. Have a very good evening.
下载中天新闻网 App， 周周抽机票，还有众多好康，让你今年夏天好好玩一下。这一波奖品非常丰富，有英达旅行社提供日本、韩国、泰国等旅游夯地的来回机票。周周抽机票，快来试试手气！下载中天新闻网 App 参加抽奖，就有机会把免费机票带回家。还有孩子们最喜欢的奇幻岛探索乐园亲子畅玩门票，是小朋友暑假放电好去处。立刻下载中天新闻网 App 参加抽奖。另外也有米特才艺中心的乐高机器人、流体熊等丰富课程，让孩子暑假不虚度，从游戏中学习成长。只要下载中天新闻网 App， 就有机会抽课程抵用券，以及最近非常热门的国立海洋科技博物馆门票、新北水岸河滨自行车租借优惠券、宜兰苏澳立桨冲浪体验优惠券，以及大家最爱的小七咖啡。这么多的好康奖项都在中天新闻网 App 里。快拿起手机下载中天新闻网 App， 输入推荐代码，任选一个账号注册，填写完资料，来到中天复古乐园戳戳乐，丰富奖品等你抽！赶快来下载中天新闻网 App， 试试好手气，好康抱回家。